All right. Welcome to the secondary break. Tar Heel Takes. My name is Graham Bond. I am a former Division One point guard. Usually, I have my brother-in-law on here, but it's been a frustrating season nonetheless. But I didn't want to bother him, so I was going to jump on here, kind of recap the game just a little bit. We took Saturday off. The Stanford game was challenging, and we were unable to record, so we were going to do both games tonight. Uh, I'm not going to get into the Stanford game. I think it's been well covered, and we're moving past it. We can get into the Wake Forest game, and I'm going to make this as simple as possible. It is a very challenging year in Chapel Hill. I think it's a very fair conversation to be had that the direction of the team needs massive overhauling, and I think it reflects not only in some of the losses but some of the wins. I think that Carolina basketball, we have not that we're spoiled, but we have had an immense amount of success for so many years that fans, and I'm throwing myself at the top of this list, are really struggling with the inconsistency of the program. And that goes into, we're an 8 seed, we're a bubble team under Hubert Davis. This is Hubert's 4th year. 3 out of the 4 years were a bubble team at North Carolina. That's challenging to process. Tonight, we drop another one. We dropped to 12-8. We have the most one-possession losses in all of Division One. We have the most one-possession games in all of Division One. We lose 66-67 in a game that was very gettable. And the thing that I struggle with most is that we lost it the exact same way we lost all the other games down the stretch. There was a 5-minute stretch where we didn't score. I thought the offensive execution was better tonight, which is great. There's always a silver lining, and the sky isn't falling. Carolina basketball has every opportunity to come back. I don't think it's coming back this year. And again, I'm reacting to the game that we just had. I harp on it all the time, and basketball is way more complex than what I'm getting ready to make it. But this team is guard heavy. It runs through the guards. So when the guards don't shoot well from three, which we don't, we're not a good shooting 3-point team. I think tonight we're 8 of 32, but we're really 6 of 30 in meaningful minutes. We throw in 2 at the end of the game. RJ gets a look at the end where no one's guarding him, just staying away from him. So naked 3 doesn't matter. We're down 4. He knocks it in. Jalen Washington knocks in a 3, basically has to shoot it. It goes in. It's great. First 3 he's made all season. But even with those 2, we shoot 25% from 3. And we're just not going to win that way. We don't have people eating the glass and getting second chance points. So my number at the beginning of the year was we had to shoot close to 37.5, maybe 38% from 3 to win games. I stand by it. I stand 10 toes down. I'm all in. We have to shoot the 3 well, and we don't do it. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. RJ Davis, one of the best shooters that's ever come through North Carolina, can't even scratch 30% from 3 anymore. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I know there's going to be, if anyone sees this, we do have a few. First of all, thank you for anyone that's watching this. Thank you for supporting, and please bear with me because it's tough to process. And I want to be a good fan. I want to be a good fan, but I also want to be as realistic with what I watched as possible. That's a very tough line to toe. Zach, if you're out there and you're watching this, you're welcome for not coming on here and doing this because this is brutal. But we did it last year. We were great last year. Unfortunately, we came up short in the Sweet 16. Again, a poor shooting night. And I guess, a lot of people are like, oh, well, poor shooting nights happen. And of course, you're not going to win when you don't shoot it well. Well, not necessarily. Carolina has really never lived and died by the 3-point line. Now we are now because we're just not able to rebound and clean the glass and get second chance points. And defensively, we are just very mediocre. And I'm really struggling with the identity of the team. At first is we're going to be the fastest team in America. And we scored 66 points on the road tonight. Like I don't know. Like with this team creating more possessions, getting up and down. If you're going to lean on the guards as much as that we do, why wouldn't you press more? Why wouldn't you keep pushing? I feel like we abandoned that early because we didn't play well. Well, I don't think it was the pace because we're not winning with 66 points. Yeah, just brutal again. And I know the guys are trying. It's just not clicking. It's just not clicking. We get 6 points from Washington and 3 rebounds, if that's correct. And 3 of those came on a Hail Mary 3 that he tossed in at the end of the game. I believe he scored on the first possession, 1 or 2 from the line. So not a lot in between the 39 minutes in between of that game. Not a lot out of Washington. Ian, tough night for him. 3 of 11, 1 of 7 from 3, unfortunately, and we shouldn't. I hate that it's North Carolina and we're depending on a freshman as much as that we do, but we are. And Ian had an off night. Ian had an off night against Stanford. Not hard to do that math. We need Ian to play well if we want to win. RJ has a decent night. He's 8 of 16, 3 of 9. He was really 2 of 8 from 3. 2 of 8 from 3 is just not going to get it done. We need better from our National Player of the Year candidate, RJ Davis, who is shooting subpar 30% from distance. Just not going to get it done. I don't know if we're going to be able to turn this thing around. Let's look. So we're now 12 and 8. We dropped to like the bottom part of the ACC. Coming up schedule wise, that Duke game coming up February 1st at Duke. Anything can happen in the Duke game, but not looking good for us. All right, we go Boston College at home, who I watched them a little bit tonight. They looked terrible against Virginia, but they were on the road. It's hard to play in Charlottesville. I believe they're like 1-7. I don't feel confident in that game, but I think we win. We go to Pittsburgh. At this moment in time, reaction video, we got no shot. Now, that's a terrible thing, and that's the fan in my heart speaking. Of course we have a shot. We've got incredible amounts of talent, and on any given night, I feel like this team can compete with anybody. It's just they're not consistent, and consistency starts at the top. The only thing that's been consistent is the inconsistency of the program, and that is troubling. I mean, 3 out of 4 years under Hubert, we're on the bubble. I mean, we're an 8 seed. We're 1 win away from not making the tournament, the ACC tournament, the year we made it to the national title game. We come back. We're the number 1 ranked team in the country. We don't make the tournament. Last year, we're a 1 seed. It's amazing. We're not on the bubble. Totally get it. Lose in the Sweet 16 to a tough Alabama team. Understandable. RJ has a really rough night. Doesn't shoot it well. We lose. This year, firmly on the bubble and probably not making it. So at Carolina, under Hubert Davis for 4 seasons, 3 out of those 4 years were a bubble team. Man. So we're at Pittsburgh. Looks like a loss. And then Saturday at Duke, again, rivalry game, Carolina-Duke, very well documented. Anything can happen at Duke. We might lose by 50. Might be a 1-point game, but we also might lose by 50. And I just can't remember a Carolina team as a kid growing up in the Triangle area ever thinking we were going to go into Cameron and lose by 50. Now, the last couple years, that was the game that turned it around when we made our national title run. But I thought we were going to lose by 50 that year. And we didn't. It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. But it's brutal. We got to shoot better. Boys, if you're out there, and again, I said this earlier, then I ADHD got distracted because I'm so frustrated. We do have, thank you so much for watching, some former players that are friends of the show. Hopefully they are still friends of the show after this. I would like to say, in my defense, I love Carolina. I love Hubert Davis. Like, Hubert Davis is a great guy. From everyone that I know that knows Hubert Davis, there is not a better human walking around on this planet. It's just something's got to change. The consistency of the program has been really tough to understand or comprehend as of late. So I hope it's Hubert. Maybe they add an assistant, maybe they add a CEO or someone that manages things. So take something off of Hubert's plate. We're supposed to hear if Caleb Wilson's coming on Thursday. I think that will go a long way to hopefully revamping the roster and the portal. It has been well documented that we were not able to compete with some of the SEC schools and some of the SEC offers for the bigs. I think it's reflected in the wins and losses this year. Duke has seemed to figure it out. Hopefully we can figure it out. But as of right now, man, 12-8. Maybe we get to 13-8 against Boston College. And then we got a tough stint. We got Pittsburgh on the road, Duke on the road, Pittsburgh at home, and then on the road at Clemson. Man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And it's really challenging to feel like the season's over. First week, second week of January. You know what I mean? Very tough. But go Heels. We'll be back. And as of right now, you just kind of hold on to hope that we catch fire. We've done it before. I don't think Brady Maddox walking through those doors. But again, not to harp on it, Brady Maddox starts shooting that 3-ball. We catch fire from deep. We make a run. Maybe this team can find their jump shots. Maybe RJ can kind of regress back to the mean, become a 37, 38% three-point shooter, which means he's got to shoot about 50% moving forward. But he can do it. We need him. We need him. Go Heels. Be kind to the comments. And again, I love the guys. I know they're giving the most effort they can. I just don't think we're scheming it up right. And I don't believe that, obviously, the roster construction has done us any favors. Go Heels. We'll see you next week. I hope.